Hello indie game fans, so good to be back here with you, or if it's your first time here on the channel, welcome to I Dream of Indie, bringing a voice to the voiceless ones in gaming. We are looking at Poker Club today on the Steam PC platform, though this game is also available on quite a few different consoles. You have a PlayStation 4 version of the game, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S as well, and they will be doing a Nintendo Switch version later in 2021. Regardless of your preferred platform, the game is available for $24.99. It's also worth noting that the Xbox version of this game does have the smart delivery option, which means players only have to purchase Poker Club once in order to get it on all Xbox platforms. On PlayStation, however, you will also get free cross-gen purchases for the PlayStation 4 version of the game, or the PlayStation 5, wherever you end up purchasing it. The developer of this game was very adamant about the fact that it was going to feature 4K visuals at 60 frames per second, and also include ray tracing, and unfortunately, for me anyways, on the PC version, I couldn't find a way to toggle the resolution. There doesn't appear to be an option here, and it felt like, anyways, at a glance, that this game was not displaying at my proper 4K resolution. Now, granted, my PC is hooked up to a TV. I don't know if that was causing the conflict, but it definitely looked a little bit washed out, and it was hard to read a lot of the text in this game. Regardless, we'll touch on the visuals a little bit more later. Let's talk about the gameplay. This is obviously a poker simulation game, and you probably want to know about the different modes of play. The game actually boasts 10 different styles of Texas Hold'em tournament play, including freeze-outs, shootouts, and bounties, just to name a few of those. And the game is very heavily connected online, so you'll be playing with a lot of live players if you so wish, though you can customize rounds and play against AI opponents as well, but a lot of the fun is playing against a live opponent in poker. Poker Club does feature an experience system. This allows you to level up your character. You also can customize that character, I should mention, though options are a little bit limited there. But the goal in the early going anyways is to get to level 5. This allows you to unlock the clubs feature. You can own either a private or a public club if you so wish, though you will need to make a pretty hefty investment before you can purchase a club. This allows you to invite your friends or do it however you want. I like the customizable options that were present here, and it's a nice feature if you did want that exclusive group to play the game with. Outside of clubs, you of course have a poker tour mode. This mode allows you to tour a variety of different locations all over the place, and this will lead you to different tournaments that will have you battling it out for more and more championships. There are certain targets or goals for you to hit. This allows you to earn stars and advance further and further into the game. It's kind of nice if you enjoy tournament-style poker play and you don't necessarily want to get a club going. It's a good feature, and again, you can't get the club going right off the bat anyways, so you're probably going to want to start here. You of course also have the option for just standard cash play or basic tournaments as well, so a decent amount of options here. However you want to play poker, there's a few different ways to do it. The problem when you are playing with online players is that, well, you're kind of stuck at their pace. Some players might forget that it's their turn, and they might be sitting around for a while, and you might be waiting. There is a timer that will eventually go off, but the overall pace of this game, as you might expect in a poker game, is fairly slow, so do expect quite a bit of lounging around waiting for your turn. You'll have plenty of time to decide your next move. The good news, though, is in my time with the PC version, I didn't experience any kind of lockouts or any kind of connection losses or anything like that. The game was running competently, at least. I'll get into some graphical issues that I ran into later, but for the most part, in terms of online connectivity, it didn't work half bad. The seamless integration was actually quite well done. There are some nice touches around the edges here as well. You're able to carefully flip your cards up and kind of just peek at your hand, and you can see the table pretty well if you switch the mode. There's a first-person mode that kind of has more of a focus on the other people that are around the table, and then there's a top-down mode if you want to get a better view of the cards and how they're laid out. Overall, though, hey, it's functional poker. There's not a lot of gameplay mechanics here. You have to know the rules, and thankfully there is a tutorial in the game if you don't know poker for whatever reason and you're playing a poker game. I'm not sure why that would happen, but hey, I'm not judging or anything like that. But onto the graphical presentation, which was really the big draw of this game. They really were emphasizing, those 4K visuals and the next-gen feel of this title. And yes, there is ray tracing in the game, but unfortunately toggling it on and off didn't really seem to make much of a difference. In fact, maybe the performance took a little bit of a hit with the ray tracing, but I didn't notice any fancy lighting or anything like that. The character models in this game look kind of lifeless, to be honest with you. They're sort of dead behind the eyes in a lot of instances. Again, you can't really customize your character in a lot of unique ways. There are some options at least, but I certainly couldn't get it to to look like Ole Gamer Joe here, but I do have to tip my hat to the backgrounds. It does a good job of emulating the feel of a setting where you would be playing poker. There's people in the background also playing and other little things going on. Almost kind of reminded me of Pure Pool, which I just recently reviewed here on the channel. Pretty good job in terms of detail to the background, but actually viewing the table and sitting around and looking at all these weirdo, strange character models was a little bit unsettling, to be honest with you. And again, I know I mentioned this at the top of this review, but there was no resolution toggle that I came across whatsoever. There was a high setting, which I put it on, but again, this wasn't taxing my machine by any means, so it was performing fine for the most part. Just a few stutters here or there with the ray tracing on, but for the most part, the game ran smoothly. It did hit that 60 frames per second target that it was shooting for. Now, I know I harped on the not-so-great character models a lot, but the sound design is also a bit of a disappointment here. These characters do let out little quips and sounds from time to time, but it's really not very authentic sounding, almost robotic, very stiff. There's no real background music that's of any note. The game on the whole really lacks a lot of personality. The backgrounds get the job done, but in terms of sound design and the looks of these characters, pretty disappointing, especially when they were so adamant about the fact that this was a next-gen poker experience. That's something I was really excited about the presentation, and for the most part, it's kind of a letdown here. But at the end of the day, Poker Club does allow you to play poker, which I guess any video game should be able to do that bills itself as a poker game, and it has some decent refinements around the edges. I think that it works, it's functional, but it's not taking poker to the next level or anything like that. I don't know what bringing poker to the next level would actually be at this point. You will get a functional poker game here, though. There's plenty of options as far as playing with friends, starting clubs, that kind of thing. So if you are a die-hard poker fan, you could do worse than this one. It gets the job done, but it's not really a next-gen experience of any kind. So will you be joining the Poker Club, or are you going to be folding on this one? Let us know in the comments section below, and if you have enjoyed our video coverage today, consider that subscribe button. It really does help us bring a voice to the voiceless ones in gaming. There are so many other ways you can support I Dream of Indie right here on the channel. You can head to the description box, or even become a member. However you end up helping us out, we thank you so much, and we'll see y'all next time.
Check.